Good morning. I'm Bruce Clark.
I'm Grace Thompson.
I'm Stephen Drew.
And I'm Jasmine Merchandani. We are in the midst of one of the biggest technological revolutions we've ever seen. More and more each day, we're integrating more technology into our everyday life. Now, according to this, the Center for Digital Technology, we've integrated more than 62% of school districts that have a digital curriculum. Now, with this integration comes both positives and negatives. And most of the time, the negatives are outweighing the positives. Stephen?
Some people believe that digital technology has had a positive impact in schools due to its economic impact. According to Roger Nim, Yale University spent $680,000 on copier paper and twice that amount on toner in 2016. Added together, this is $2,040,000 in 2016 alone. Also, according to Roger Nim, the School of Medicine at Yale was able to save $92,000 when the practice of printing paper course packets was replaced with iPads. In this case, the iPads were able to replace all of these packets, and the iPads took away the need to print out every single packet for every single student, so each student would get an iPad instead of all of the paper here. iCloud services are another way that digital technology are able to reduce costs in schools. Cloud services allow for the sharing of information and documents between devices, as shown here, instead of having to print out documents and information in order to share them with people so you can save costs. Jasmine?
Thank you, Stephen. While my colleague makes a great point that going paperless can help the economy, it may actually be hurting the environment more than we think. You see, there is little to no factual evidence that there is any correlation between the integration of digital technology and the decrease in paper. In fact, according to Jeremy Gernard's research into the average paper usage per American, since the 1980s, we've increased our paper usage by over 130 kilograms. So what does this mean? This means that despite the integration of new technology, we're using just as much or even more paper. So how could this hurt the environment? You see, if we were to try to go paperless, we would have to integrate such a high level of technology that it would harm our Earth. You're probably thinking, how does technology hurt the Earth? Well, it all has to do with power consumption. So let's start locally. Now, in one classroom, there are an average of 5 computers. And according to Griffith University, an average computer needs 130 watts of energy to run annually. This would mean that one classroom on computers uses 600 watts of energy. This isn't a very big number, so we can look at an entire school. In one classroom, there are an average of 80 computers, meaning that there are 400 computers. Times this by the 130 watts, and you would get 52,000 watts of energy. Still don't think this is big enough? Well, we can look at the national effects across America. Now, according to the NCES, the National Center for Education Statistics, there are an average of 24,000 secondary public schools, which means that there are 1.9 million classrooms and 9.6 million computers. We again times this by the numbers that we found from Griffith University to give us an astounding 1.2 billion watts of energy. Now, if you couldn't tell by this large number, that amount of energy is devastating to the Earth. And imagine if we were to continue integrating that amount of technology with tablets, laptops, and computers, it would harm the environment detrimentally. Now on to Bruce.
Thank you, Jasmine. Since the introduction of technology into the classroom, it has been negatively affecting our students socially. Not only has it limited social interaction between students, but it has decreased collaboration between students. In a 2010 study conducted by the University of Michigan, they found that 71% of students, 71%, are distracted by their cellular devices in any teaching environment. This is a big problem, and it's only getting worse, and it will continue to get worse with the rapid advancement of technology in education. Furthermore, in a study conducted by Andrew McCarthy, the Assistant Director of Learning Technologies at United College of Southeast Asia, he found that 54% of students are distracted by their laptops in class. So if over 50% of our students are distracted by their laptops in class, and over 70% of our students are distracted by their cell phones in class, when will they have time to focus on their education and learn something? To extend my point, in a study by Cengage Learning, they found that 55% of students that use their phones in class are not even using them for educational purposes. They're using their phones for texting and social media. By these points discussed, you can clearly and obviously see how detrimental technology is to our education. Now on to Grace.
Thank you. The future of technology in the classroom is very promising. The two main things you'll see being integrated into our classroom over the next couple of years are biometrics and augmented reality classes. Biometrics is pretty much another form of identification. You will see biometrics in the form of a fingerprint scanner in your libraries and your cafeterias. You can use your fingerprint to check out library books and to buy your lunches at the cafeteria. The problem with this is if you have two in a library and two in your cafeteria, it's $31,000 just for 4 devices. The next thing is augmented reality glasses. Augmented reality glasses are pretty much like virtual reality, except you can interact with what's in front of you. This is the big problem with the future of technology in the classroom, because you'd want to have one per student, and in each class there's an average of 24 students, and the glasses run around $2,750 a piece. In just one classroom, it's $66,000. So the average amount of classes in your school is 80. So you do 66,000 times 80, that's $5,280,000 just for one school having augmented reality classes. Having one per student is such a problem because the Orange County District, their budget per student per year is only $9,882. If you take out $2,750 for one pair of glasses, that only leaves the student with $7,000 left for any additional services the student might need. So there are some negative effects, some positive effects in having technology in the classroom, but the negative social, environmental, and futuristic effects outweigh the positives. Thank you. What questions do you have?
Hey guys. Sorry. All right, Jasmine, we'll start with you first, and then we'll work our way across.
Okay.
Let's go. First question. Were there any changes that you made to your presentation based on your group discussions, and then if so, what were they?
Yeah, we actually changed what side we were going to focus on first, because at first Grace was futuristic and she was positive, but then we ended up seeing that because me and Bruce had a really strong negative argument, that we could go negative and we could have Stevie go towards the positive side and do the rebuttal.
Okay. Grace, we'll go to you next. Did your views change at all based on what other people's evidence that they brought to the group discussion?
Yeah, like Jasmine said, my view did change. We all talked about how, like, in the beginning we had half positive and half negative. Stevie and I were both going to be positive, and then Jasmine and Bruce were going to be negative. So my views changed once I saw Jasmine and Bruce's evidence, and that made me turn negative.
All right, thank you. Bruce, can you tell me, how did you decide what to use in the presentation? Like what perspectives and to use during the presentation?
Well, most of the time we collaborated with each other to figure out what we thought would be the best options and like best order. So once we solidified our negative point of view as being like our main topic, then we just kind of went from there to make sure all of our points were really solid.
Thank you. Stevie, what points did you want to ensure would be discussed in the presentation, and why those points?
I wanted to ensure that there was at least the one positive economic that I went through, and then I would do that because that would allow Jasmine with her environmental to basically show that it still doesn't matter as much, because those basically outweigh everything that I talked about in my economic. It's not as big of a point.
Good. You guys are done. Great job.
Thank you.